Hi, Dumelang. My name is Bonolo Beasting, and we're right here at the Sandton Convention Center for the very first event by Precious Moments. I'm standing in for Busisiwe Nomaswazi Kunene, who will be coming soon, don't you worry. And as you can see, that the ambiance is absolutely beautiful because entrepreneurs and industrialists have all gathered here today to find out more about selling their products all over the world. But you know what? Don't forget to please share, like, and follow and subscribe to the Precious Moments channel on YouTube. Now, today's episode is very special because we are attending the second edition of the Black Industrialists and Exporters Conference, brought to you by the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition, which is the DTIC, in partnership with the Development Corporation, IDC, and the National Empowerment Fund. The aim of this conference is to basically provide a platform for Black industrialists to exchange ideas, share and acknowledge, and also to celebrate the achievements of the Black industrialist programs. This is also an opportunity for a new class of upcoming South African industrialists to learn, network, and engage with some of South Africa's distinguished Black industrialists. There's also exhibitionists that are right here, and of course they're selling proudly South African products which have been manufactured right here. So if you are into all things business, please do stick around as we update you on all the delegates that we will be interviewing right here for the Black Industrialists and Exporters Conference happening right here in Sandton Convention Center. We're ready? Okay. Welcome, Terence. Thank you so much for joining us right here on Precious Moments, man. Can you please do tell us what is it exactly that you specialize in?
Thank you, my sister. As you said, my name is Terence Luma. We are the agro-processors, also commonly known as agribusiness. We are funded by the DTIC and the IDC under the Black Industrialist scheme. We manufacture condiment sauces, ranging from tomato sauces, barbecue sauces, mustard sauces, prego, mayonnaises, dressings, and more. Yes, and we do this out of our factory in Sebenza, Edenvale, here in Gauteng. And in the main, we do contract manufacturing for your blue chip companies or multinational companies.
Mm-hmm. Yes. How do you think that this Black Industrialist Exporters Conference is going to benefit you as a Black entrepreneur?
I think key to us attending this as the interested party is to try and understand how different spheres of government, particularly national government, are intended to make this program more accessible, not only for us, but for also other aspiring Black industrialists that wish to access the platform. We are there, we are within, I can say, but it's not enough. We want some of ours to come in and join us because we are more sustainable when the arrangement is like that. When we are there in a very tight, arrangement, and the ecosystem is more inclusive. It has got Black players, particularly women and youth.
Mm-hmm. From your perception, do you think there are actually enough Black industrialists and entrepreneurs that are right here at the BIEC conference?
The answer is yes, and the answer is also no. I don't think the numbers here do honestly reflect the demographics of this country, particularly when one looks at rural provinces, your Limpopo, your Northwest, Northern Cape, and perhaps Mpumalanga to some extent, not excluding the likes of the Eastern Cape. So Gauteng is still concentrated, and I think the aim is to try and go to the rural provinces and build opportunities within those areas so that you don't have concentration of industry within Gauteng, and Gauteng, remember, is the smallest province. So we need to really spread opportunities across nationally, into these other not countries, rather provinces.
Thank you so much, Terence, and all the best with your business and your entrepreneurial journey.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to be here today.
Thank you. This is Precious Moments right here at the Sandton Convention Center. Welcome to Precious Moments, Deputy Director General Mayor Susan Mangwale from the DTIC. Now, I'm told that you are heading this program. What are the ideal outcomes for you out of this program?
Okay. Thank you so much for having me here at Precious Moment. The program, the Black Industrialist, is one of the incentive programs of the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition. The main objective of this program is to allow as Black South African to participate in market, to also own businesses or to acquire some shares, with the hope and with the objective of making sure that they contribute to the South African economy by creating jobs, by also reducing other socio-economic issues that we have in the country, unemployment and poverty.
This is the second conference. Are there any achievements thus far that you would like to celebrate?
I think for the fact that we are having the second conference, this is actually a celebration, because where we are now, we've funded over 1,000 Black industrialists that are contributing close to 90 billion of their turnover annually to the South African GDP. They are also employing over 90,000 of South Africans. So what we have differently, which is a success, is that we were able not only to bring the Black industrialists, but to bring big businesses that are actually buyers. So it means, as a Black industrialist, when you are here, you're able to raise your order, you're able to access a particular market through networking. Over and above that, we have 200 Black industrialists that are showcasing their products. They are ready to accept orders from whoever is the buyer. So that's the biggest success. Then tonight we're going to be recognizing the women-owned Black industrialists, the Black industrialists, the one that are contributing to sustainability, the youth-owned, the most innovative Black industrialists during the award session.
Obviously, creating such a conference, there are going to be challenges. Were there any stumbling blocks that you had to, move around and maneuver around for this conference?
Yes, with all the conferences, there's always a challenge, because remember, we have Black industrialists, we also have Black entrepreneurs. Black industrialists are mainly in manufacturing, doing automotives, agro-processing. Your Black entrepreneurs are the ones that are mainly in the services sector, the filmmakers, the tourism, the pharmacists. So we had to create a balance of not only sticking to the definition of the Black industrialists, but also allow Black entrepreneurs, because they are also contributing, even though they are not in manufacturing. So today we have a mixture of those. So the ones that are producing and the ones that are servicing us. So that's why one of the challenge was that the definition say you have to be in manufacturing, but also to accommodate them all. The interest was quite high. In terms, you will see, we receive with the awards, we receive over 200 for the awards. So even the coming here, we couldn't accommodate everyone to be here. So that was also one of the challenge. So, but then maybe the next one will go to 3,000. We're not going to stop on 1,005.
Thank you so much, DDG, and all the best for the conference.
Thank you so much.
Refilwe Monageng, thank you so much for joining us right here on Precious Moments. I think first and foremost, I'd like to find out from you to please actually explain to us in detail the difference between Black entrepreneurship and Black industrialists.
Thank you so much for the opportunity and the time. So being a Black entrepreneur, it means as a Black person historically disadvantaged, and you'd fall under being a Black African and Indian, a colored. That's being a Black. That's Black, and then being an entrepreneur, anybody who's in business. But an industrialist, it's someone who manufactures and produces something. I'll make an example, like someone who produces the toilet paper. that's an industrialist. Ba producer. Someone who naling baker ko kasi. It's an industrialist because they take flour, sukiri, and they produce the kuku, the biscuit, and also it's an industry in manufacturing. So that's an industrialist. Anybody who produces like the flour, it's raw material, but it becomes a product. So that's a black industrialist. But an entrepreneur, it's somebody or reksang di cook. I guess the pekil. O emanko konenga di rekisa. That's an entrepreneur. Kaput deliver di paza tsedingi, kaput deliver Pick and Pay. That's an entrepreneur. But the one who manufactures, it's an industrialist because they creating an industry.
Now, what has been your perception thus far of this conference, as I do know that this is your second time coming to this event?
Look, the conference this year, it seems like it's on a low ebb. The turnout is not good. Last year it was a good turnout, the hype. I mean, I met a whole lot of high-profile people. I'm not saying these people are not high-profile, but this year it's not. And maybe it's because they're now reaching a new segment of people who are industrialists. Last year there was a lot of people that came, and then the ones that are this year are new, which is good. Even the people that are showcasing, it's new people that they're showcasing. But the fact that the turnout is not good, and the fact that it's made in Sandton, it's not also taken out to communities, maybe there should be conferences that are taken out to communities so that manufacturing depend for panel beaters, those are industrialists which some of us don't know about, and they are selling, and maybe we're not showcasing them, and maybe they're not benefiting through the incentives that black industrialists. So they need our people. We need more information to go out to our people, to say the Department of Trade and Industry and Competition has these opportunities, and how can they benefit? Even if you speak about the export opportunities, where it's in South Africa, and you could sell paint to Zimbabwe, to the SADC region, to Mozambique, to Lesotho. Why aren't we considering those things if we manufacture a paint? So it's those information that our people don't have. What if there's an opportunity outside of South Africa? Maybe imagine if you're exporting paint to Nigeria. Nigeria has a huge population. So those are the things to say, can we take information to our people? Because something that the experience has been, today Hakwet's Paul in this conference, people don't need money. They need a market. I need the clients. Because all the clients take product, then you sure you're going to make money. Banking on the basis that on all the client which you must satisfy. So the conference has been fairly well. However, it needs to be taken more to our communities.
Do you think that black industrialists are actually going to benefit from this conference?
From this conference, I don't think they're going to benefit. And I'll tell you why I don't think they're going to benefit. The laws need to be changed. For example, and the laws, one, to ensure that, like a grant system, why I'm saying they're not going to benefit. If they're not going to benefit, I'll tell them straight now. And why I'm saying why they're not going to benefit, they're not going to benefit in the immediate term. In the long term, they might. But immediately, they're not going to benefit. Why am I saying that? Because turnaround time, these supporting partners, the ITC, the National Empowerment Fund, it's too long, it's onerous. And they need to lower barriers to entry in terms of accessing finance, accessing markets. It needs to be easy because most of our people are still informal, and how do we regularize them becoming informal? They are industrialists, but you need to formalize them. After formalizing them, make sure that the conditions of accessing the incentives, for example, the DTIC is saying they'll give you a grant. So you get excited, I'll get a grant. And they're saying we'll only give you a grant after you spend it. How are you going to give me a grant after I spend it? I don't even have that money to spend. So when I'm saying they're not going to benefit, it's because the grant, for you to get benefit, your grant funding, you must spend it. For example, you need a grant, 5 million. They're saying, no, you must spend half of that money, 2.5 million, for us to give you the grant. You don't even have that 2.5 million. And then the NEF wants you onerous things, for example, like any other banks, and the banks, they'll want you collateral, so that to give you that money, because the bank will say, no, we want skin in the game. Number one, and then when so how collateral. So how are you going to benefit? You're going to be where you are. You're going to be exactly where you are now. You're going to be there. So that's why I'm saying they're not going to benefit. We need radical policies that advance Batwabansu. And at the moment, for example, how do we regularize land in rural areas so that it can be used as collateral? Because it's under tribal land. Because it's under tribal land, the bank cannot use it as collateral. So already you are hamstrung. So you can't be a black industrialist on those bases.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Refilwe.
Thank you.
There you go.
Okay. Thank you so much to the CEO of ECIC, Ntate Gilbert Mapula, for joining us right here at Precious Moments. Ntate, my first question for you, what is your role right here at this conference?
So at this conference, we're playing a dual role. We are one of the biggest sponsors for the conference, with the likes of IDC and the National Employment. And furthermore, we're here as a participant, because we do support black industrialists, especially through our enterprise development program, as well as our supply development. So in the previous conference, we had one of our beneficiaries selected for an award, and then she ended up getting it. And this lady, she's exporting, sanitary towels all over the continent, and she's been doing very well so far.
What made you want to actually be part and be a sponsor for this conference?
I think, Black Industrialists, it's a very good program. It started in 2016. And obviously, when you look at our historical economic patterns, they've been very skewed, Our black people have not been participating in the mainstream of the economy. And if you look at some of the deals that were done previously, people were just buying equity. But this time around, black business, black people are owning the means of production. They're producing goods that are very competitive, that they can sell anywhere. And for me, I think we need more and more of that so that we can change the landscape, over time. Yeah.
And lastly, Ntate, has this, as you were talking earlier on about the beneficiaries from your company, were they also here at the event this year?
Yeah, they're here as a delegate. We have invited them, to participate. They are not nominated this time around.
Ah, okay. Unfortunately, then they'll come through next year.
Yeah, hopefully.
Thank you so much, Ntate. Thank you. We are at the Sandton Convention Center, and of course there are a lot of exhibitors. And right next to me is a Kutama from Mitochondria Energy Company. Hi Kutama, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Can you please do tell us, Mitochondria Energy Company, can you please do tell us more about it?
All right, so Mitochondria started with the idea of creating sustainable solutions for the South African and African markets, and we are in the hydrogen space, so we create hydrogen technologies and make sure that we're doing everything sustainably.
Now, Kutama, for layman's purposes, what does Mitochondria Energy Company do?
So we create hydrogen technologies, and the first product that we created is a energy generation tool called a fuel cell. So a fuel cell uses clean energy like your LPG or natural gas, and you create energy on the other side through an electrochemical process.
This is quite interesting because I have heard that there is thoughts of actually going towards the gas and hydraulics, industry. How does that benefit for you guys?
So we're actually in the age of gas, using gas as the primary fuel and actually hydrogen as one of the primary fuels. So it's an interesting and exciting market for us because obviously it's wide open, it's still a niche space, and we are an early entrant. So it just makes the opportunities even greater for us to explore.
What can people use this gas for?
So hydrogen is actually usable for cooking, cleaning. So with us, we use it to create electricity for your homes, for large industries. And in other industries, they've been, transforming cars to actually function off hydrogen.
This is very interesting considering the fact that in South Africa we have a huge problem with the electricity. Do you think that there is a possibility that we could go towards, hydrogen, as you're saying, in reference to instead of electricity?
Yes, definitely, but it would be an energy mix of all the different natural resources that we have. So it would not just be a hydrogen economy or a hydrogen-based electricity generation. It would be a good mix of still some fossil fuels and then also the hydrogen, hopefully hydrogen playing a greater role than the fossil fuels.
Now, as a young black woman, what drew you into this? Because this is quite interesting.
Actually, it found me, and I'm very grateful that it found me. This energy sector is a new energy sector for women, and there are quite a few women in the sector, but we're still not many. So it's a great opportunity for women, young people like myself, to start innovating and using our new skills that we're learning in this fourth industrial revolution to kind of take this industry forward.
Now, Kutama, how does an event such as this benefit you as a company?
So let me start with what the DTIC has done with us. So they're one of our funders who have helped us develop this product and do bankable feasibility studies. So the last 2 years we went through bankable feasibility study, and the DTIC was one of our funders, and so it's gotten us to this place where at industrialization and going out to the market. So these opportunities are very key for our organization in developing us, in providing the funding and some of the support we need to get to market and to actually have a viable product for South Africa, for Africa, and even the rest of the world.
Oh, thank you so much, Kutama, and all the best for Mitochondria Energy Company. I'm learning something today. Thank you.
I'm Menon Dumiso Pasha. I'm a Makoti to the tribe of Bapedi. I'm Zulu by birth. Actually, this company it emerged in 2014 when I decided to go and learn more about the paddy culture. But on my background, I'm a community developer for 20 years now, and I'm a nurse by profession. So I had developed passion of finding solutions in terms of socio-economic upliftment of communities. I started an initiative which was called Siapila Youth Support Services, and then I learned from it what were the needs of the community, especially the underprivileged communities, ranging from townships, peri-urban areas, and then I decided to say, let me just go and find and get more knowledge from the rural areas, because I was seeing Bapedi culture as a sustainable model, platform for socio-economic upliftment of people. Bapedi people have got a very interesting culture where they are self-sustaining and they are very quiet people, so it's not easy to learn from far. So when I noticed from my health background, they were looking, it's older people who are looking very energetic, and very rarely they having chronic diseases. So I had, because they're also very secretive, I had to lower myself, humble myself, to just understand what is it that they are doing different when I'm comparing them with the urban people. So that's how the initiative started. Then we started mobilizing them, positioning them as cooperatives. Amongst skills that they have, it's everything that you see. How we address it's coming from these women, from their own hands, the crafts that you see on the table, the kind of food that they are feeding us. It's like, it doesn't feel like we're in South Africa when we're in with Bapedi. But amongst others, assets that they had was these teas, and they were hiding these teas. So when I think I gained confidence from them, and then I started taking samples to the very same DTI which referred us through all the channels for analysis of the tea. So as you can see on our table, we are now taking these teas to different levels, because we ended up with science and innovation. They absorbed the project for plus or minus 7 years now. So it's not an easy task. They just took us, they developed the products, and then we have gained confidence that our teas are very nutritional, they detox, they nourish, and then we're feeling the flexibility ourselves, but we're getting a very good response from the public in general, and we're targeting everybody from a pregnant woman. Our black bush tea crosses the placental barrier and nourish the baby whilst it's still in the womb, and to the teenager, to an adolescent, to an elderly person. I'm 60 years now, I don't even know what PMS is. You just don't sweat, to relax, you are calm and collected. So then this initiative is now taking us to open more services. The Bapedi people are very good in tourism as well. They don't talk much English, but they just interact with people with their culture. They dance, they clothes us, as you say, we do tea tours. We have developed our own culture, our tea tour culture, our cultural tea, like the Chinese are honoring their own tea so much. And then we also are developing different products and different blends, which our CEO is going to mention right now. So it's a very exciting journey. Yeah, for me, at this time, I gave myself time to attend the core of the conference. I think last time I just thought I would be there just to help with the exhibitions. But today I took some time, and I felt like if all the discussions that I've had today from the ministers, from the leaders of diverse businesses, who are presenting today, if we can really take this serious, and it's demanding now, it's getting late, but we have the means and how. There are resources in the country. I have noticed, because I've traveled this journey for 10 years now. Those small resources, if they are allocated correctly to the correct people, it's doable. And I'm telling you, just in this passage alone, if we can put all these people who are having these beautiful products, we can create jobs within 3 months, because we target people who are already doing something, and just expand the capacity and accelerate what they are already doing. So indeed, I'm just pleading with our leaders to say it is so doable. I'm a community developer. I've never had money to establish this, but with the little resources that I keep on pulling from different angles, it is doable. So it means if we can target those who are already well positioned, who are passionate, who are obsessed with what they are doing, and accelerate a little bit, put a little bit of millions in what they are doing, we can create jobs by end of this year. This country could be different if we also remove these people who are gatekeepers. There are gatekeepers in the system who are really blocking the development. So it's high time that we take this very serious before we get into a dire stage.
In terms of the program, not just the conference, but the whole program by DTIC, right?
Yeah.
Do you think it's beneficial for small black businesses and industrialists that are upcoming industrialists?
It is from
from
the bottom, from day one, when you are taken to go and analyze your product with all those facilities for analysis. It is doable. And then when you grow and you are being supported and you are made, because when you are a business leader, you have a vision of leading many people. Like you've asked me a question earlier on, we are in a founding stage in Sejong that the community owns 49% of the shares in this company. I'm only owning 51% with my family as well, investing in these communities. So I'm just saying, if we can really just target to groom and coach and have a clear incubation program, the only big difficulty in this country is that you have to overstretch yourself with no resources in your pocket, going knocking in different doors, and stretching the very little that you should be conserving to grow the business. So I'm very much honoring this platform today, and I just want to say with a little voice, if we take it serious, within this year alone, these black industrialists who are already here, who are emerging, are so ready to expand.
So the future of Sejong is really geared towards commercializing into more mainstream markets, and in terms of also tapping into export markets as well. And support is really required from platforms such as these, like the Black Industrial Conference and Program, to assist us in meeting requirements of regulations in export markets, but also being able to sustainably upscale. So we are looking towards getting our product out there in the broader market, in terms of exposing South African heritage and culture, and really creating a new industry for indigenous resources that exist mainly within rural communities. So we're really working towards creating a more sustainable value chain, and that can only be achieved through support such as the Black Industrial Program.
We're standing right here inside the Sandton Convention Center exhibition area, and right next to me is Rendani, who is from the NEF. Hi, how are you, Rendani?
I'm good, and yourself, Bunalo?
I'm good, man. Thank you so much. Yes. Rendani, how has the involvement been, as a sponsor for such a huge conference, and what are the outcomes that you're looking at as the NEF, right, for an event such as this?
Thanks, Manolo. So I think, looking at the mandate of the NEF, it's basically to fund black entrepreneurs, for us to almost ensure the involvement of black entrepreneurs within the South African economy. So I think us getting involved in such or even sponsoring such an event, actually shows that, coming in as a sponsor, it actually shows that commitment, to the black entrepreneur, because it's quite aligned. It's quite aligned with, with our mandate. For us, when you're here, outside of supporting already the black entrepreneurs, some that we do fund. I think for myself, because I'm an investment associate, it's to potentially find more black entrepreneurs, who are looking maybe at expansion capital, who are looking at even walk-ins of people who are looking or interested in starting businesses. I think when you get involved in such a conference, you get the opportunity to meet those different types of entrepreneurs, and you can then see how can you assist them. So when you're standing here, you've gotten to meet entrepreneurs who are interested in starting startups. You get to meet entrepreneurs who are already running enterprises and who are looking at expansion, at expanding. You get to meet all these different types of entrepreneurs, and then you try and align those, with the funding that's available within the NEF, and you see how you can assist them.
Now, Rendani, I did see that behind here you have a banner for black women, and you were into investments. How is the NEF going thus far with investing into black women's businesses?
No, I think, actually, I mean, it is one of our mandates. So we do really look at targeting female-owned enterprises, because, one of the funds, the Women Empowerment Funds, again, the mandate it being of, distributing funds to get more and more women involved in, within the economy in essence. Yes, so those, we are quite involved with that. Even in the fund that we are involved in, we are always looking for transactions, that are women involved, and prioritizing those to obviously then, hasten the economy to be, to have a more woman representative, within within that ecosystem, within the entrepreneurial ecosystem. So yeah, so I think we are always looking and always, I think when earlier in one of the panels, I think it was Anna that said, I liked her statement when she said, you know what, you must develop thick skin, and you'd love to see more and more women come along and look at utilizing these funds that we have available, that we're able to assist them with. So I think that is something that we're quite passionate about. It actually is one of my KPIs as well, looking at more and more women entrepreneurs. So if there are any that would be out there in this podcast, definitely they can reach out to the NEF and we can look at assisting them.
Now lastly, Rendani, is there any company that you guys are quite proud of that has been obviously to here to the exhibition, and who you have also funded by any chance? Who you're proud of as the NEF, from taking them from zero to heroes?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, there's a couple. Actually, one we're looking at, BT Industrial. That was a company that we have funded, and they've done pretty well for themselves. What's also interesting is that they are, they are expanding. Almost creating a separate division, a more healthcare division within, within their group, and we are actually looking at funding that. It's actually going to be one of a. I don't know how much I can divulge, but it's their product is first of its kind in South Africa, being locally manufactured, and it just shows you how when they started the piping business. They came to the NEF with some of their assistants, and now when they're starting a different division, we are still again working with them, looking at that expansion. There's also actually another client who's mine. I don't say mine, but who the NEF funded, but I assisted him. And he's furniture manufacturing, Pascal Hlongwane. Pascal Carpentry Services. So he was actually looking for expansion capital, and I think he's the funding that he got approved for was for 15 million rands. And what's exciting about him is that he's managed now to create, I think it's about 40 extra jobs, from that, from the funding that we're able to provide from that expansion. So you can see the jobs that have been unlocked, and we're having a discussion this morning, and because we actually just disbursed the money last week, and he was telling me his plans, and it's quite exciting to also see that end. When an entrepreneur now is busy actioning, he's gotten the funds, and now he's actioning, and he's excited about his growth and doubling or tripling his revenue. So you'll get a chance to see him. Is Pascal Hlongwane is that side. But those are just I think two that are here. I don't know if there was another one, but I can't speak much on them because they weren't. I haven't worked closely with them, but I know there's two or three others that we were. That we funded. There's actually a couple more that we are looking at funding. Although we're still in the early stages with them and we haven't funded into it, but we're actually currently, just undergoing the DD process with them. So it is exciting to be here. Like I said, you get to meet, you get to see, the projects that have come to fruition, but also not only that, you get to also then potentially meet other people that you can assist, and that's our mandate, and that's what we're there for, and that's what gets us going.
Thank you so much, Rendani.
No, thanks, Bunal.
We're chatting to Pascal from Pascal Kitchens, and he's going to be telling us more about his business. How are you, sir?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Can you tell us more about your company?
We are a kitchen manufacturing business. We design, manufacture and install. This goes into building cabinets, your TV stands, bar, anything you think of that you want us to create a space, we make a space functional. That's what we do.
Now, we were chatting to Rendani earlier on from the NEF, and he had actually alluded and told us that you were lucky enough to be one of the recipients of the funding. How is that funding going to be helping you from the NEF as Pascal?
Look, we must say, if you look at the 5 years, if you look at post COVID, we had issues of trying to stabilize our businesses. From being stagnant where you are locked up and you are not operating at all. The first thing that you go back to your shell and you need to make it work. And then, fast forward to it, we need to recover. And then we are grateful that government came up with stimulus packages such as NEF, your DTICs and all that they are really driving the recovery of small business up to medium businesses. And we're one of the fortunate small businesses that we took part and we participated in our growth strategies. We're currently expanding our businesses where we employing state-of-the-art machinery, talking of automized and functional machines that are coming with new innovative technology that drives now the higher tier market or cutting-edge participation of our technology. We managed to buy some of the new machines that are able to give us to that level. And secondly, we're now focusing on the retail side where we are expanding into new showrooms and so on. So that on its own is now giving us that high-end finishing and getting more footprint and expanding to other areas that we're not in. So that was more unlocking other potential that we're not doing as well.
Now, lastly, Pascal, coming to a conference such as this and being able to exhibit here, what has that done for your business?
Look, I think the most important thing is networking, and learning from others. Conferences are more about keeping quiet and learning from others, and that's where we are. We're here to see other industrial players, how they are running their businesses and how they're doing it. And then others, they're also listening to what we are saying and it's more networking than most of the things that you are thinking of and learning how to export into other areas of the continent, and that's what we're here for.
Thank you so much, Pascal, and all the best for your business, sir.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
So our story goes back 8 years. We were of the first recipients of the Black Industrialist grant in 2016. And then together with IDC, they funded us starting this factory that makes this pet food. We were almost exclusively supplying Woolworths, was the whole project. And as things went along, we had some challenges, COVID came, and we were sort of just, stepping out. And these little containers we import. So with COVID, imports were almost at a standstill. There was port issues, and so we were standing still for a good couple of months. Between Woolworths and IDC, they actually had to refund and refinance some more working capital for us so that we could keep going, because the issue of the demand for the product was not a problem. We had good sales, we had good forecasts, but just in starting out a new production facility was quite a challenge, especially with COVID, load shedding. So it was sort of one knock after the other. We just got up and you go. Right now, we, for our first year, have done a operational break-even after, 8 years. And we're looking ahead very positively. We still are doing all of this together with both Woolworths and IDC. We've got a few other clients and customers on board since inception though. And we're looking forward to grow and be that big business. I was in the conference earlier that we are now actually just out of SMME. So we've gone to our 50 million mark. We've over our 50 employees. So there's all new challenges that go with it, and we're learning as we grow. But yeah, that is us looking ahead positively.
We are chatting to Tebogo from Canens, right, here at the Sandton Convention Center. How are you, Tebogo?
I'm okay, and yourself, ma'am?
I can see that you're rather busy. Listen, man, can you please tell us more about Canens?
Yeah, so Canens is a medical cannabis company. So we do medical cannabis research, and from the research we then commercialize the products from the research, and we do CBD oils, we do CBD massages, we have creams, we have skin range care, and we have your sprays, we have your energy oil, we have professional ones, which is for energy, pain and inflammation and sleep and sexual boost.
currently busy with our slimming range, and Canens has started in 2020, actually during COVID or just after COVID, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, can you tell me, being at a conference such as this, how does it benefit you as an exhibitor?
So for me, it exposes the benefits of medical cannabis, to just showcase what the benefits of cannabis and hemp and what they can do, and just to expose them to every individual, to just destigmatize, because there's a whole lot of stigma around cannabis and hemp. So this offers us an opportunity to just showcase our work and what cannabis does or hemp does,
Tebogo, can you tell me, have you had any opportunities to network with any other investors right here?
Yeah, we've had some opportunities with regards to off-take agreements. So the talks are about to commence, and maybe in the next coming weeks we'll finalize the off-take agreements for Europe and for other African countries, which we are glad and excited about.
Now, Tebogo, can you please tell me, have you had an opportunity to be funded by any of the stakeholders that are right here?
So we because we are in the research phase, right? There are talks that around funding, and we're looking into taking them to the next level or the next stage. And the communication is good because there are bilateral agreements with some African countries, particularly Ghana, and we're looking into exploiting that as a company, and the stakeholders are playing a major role in assisting us with those bilateral agreements. And like in the case of Lesotho, they are playing a major role with bridging the gap between us and Lesotho, so that we see how we can best benefit, but the two countries can benefit from each other's experience and knowledge within the field.
Thank you so much, Tebogo. We're chatting to Resandile, who is the CEO of Naledi Ring Rollers. Has got a nice ring to it. So can you please tell us, what are ring rollers?
Okay, Naledi Ring Rollers, basically it's a name formed. We are a fortune company. So what we manufacture, we press it and then we roll it like these components. So it's the process, basically it's based on the process of how we manufacture our products. That's where ring rollers came about.
What are the benefits for you as a company to come to an event such as this?
One, it's exposure. Two, it's the synergies that we have amongst or within the sector, because ours mainly it's to manufacture components for wagons, for the rail sector basically, and for petrochemicals, for civil engineering. So we are a diverse entity that manufactures purely from billet. Billet is the input material from its raw form, and then we do it to a finished product. And then locally we do all the rail space, like your Prasas, your Transnets, and then we do export as well.
Now lastly, Resandile, I'd like to just find out, where is your business situated, please?
In Vereeniging. It's on the main road, basically, on the R59 freeway. Coincidentally, there's an off-ramp called Ring Road. So it leads straight to Ring Rollers. So somehow everything worked out.
Thank you so much, Resandile from Naledi Ring Rollers. Thank you so much.
Hi, so my name is Mpoma, so I'm the founder of Precious and Pearl Brands. We manufacture the most delicious Khamere, non-alcoholic ginger beer. We are here at the Black Industrialists Conference, hoping to get access to market, also funding, because our business is growing. We're currently supplying to different retail stores in South Africa, and we're hoping to connect with funders and people who can give us access to market. Obviously, we're preserving a traditional recipe with Khamere, because a lot of people don't know how to make Khamere these days. But also, we're changing the narrative of Khamere just being a traditional drink. We're giving people an alternative away from fruit juices, the concentrates that are currently available in the market. If you can see, our 2 liter is quite special. It's something that's not available in the retail space. Most of the concentrates are fruit juices, are squashes, and we come in with something that's different. And people like it. And yeah, we're just hoping to connect and see what comes out of the conference. So the challenges that we're currently facing, just like most entrepreneurs, is access to market. It's quite difficult to get an opportunity in the retail space. We do have a footprint in there, but we would like to get more. Funding, because most of the time when you look for funding, they would want like an off-take agreement. And with the retail stores, they can't really give you like a set type of quantities that they would want to take from you. It's more like an ongoing contract that if they take your product and people love it, then they'll continue to actually take the product, but they don't have like a set quantity that they will give you to say we'll take this much, and that becomes a problem when you're applying for funding. But also I think for us mainly, it's just been a challenge to get feedback from the funders, because you'd apply for funding but nobody replies or responds to you and you don't know where your application has gone. So those are the main challenges, and I feel like we are at the growth stage where we need machinery to actually be able to expand our business, but also to just be efficient in how we're doing things, because I mean we do a lot of things manually. This ready to drink, we still mix it with our hands and still mix in buckets, and I mean those are the kind of things that put like a bottleneck on the growth of the business.
Hello, my name is Colleen from Colleen's Handmade Sauces, and I manufacture healthy sauces that's free of preservatives and that's organic. So we're basically in the agro-processing space, and I only support local organic farmers. And it's an amazing opportunity to be at the expo today. And what we're looking for is to create new markets in order to grow the business and to create more employment. I'm a female entrepreneur. I run the business entirely by myself with my own funding. But I would like to create markets. I'd like to create more employment. I've got a soft spot for my sisters, and a lot of the ladies in my factory are females. And yeah, we just here, we would really like to network, create markets. If we can get funding, that's always a bonus. But I think just to get our product out into the market and so that we can grow.
We are chatting to Simon and Alice Orimo, and they are from Impella Trading. Hi, how are you?
I'm okay, ma'am. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Simon, can you please tell us more about your product?
We are specializing in leather. And what inspired us was an opportunity, a gap that had been neglected. And this niche market has now brought us to where we are at the moment. As you do realize, in the rural communities, people keep cattle. They eat meat, but the hides and skins are just thrown around. If you go to the villages right now, you'll find that on the roofs, on the fences, there are hides and skins which are leftovers from feasts. But underneath those roofs, there is no food. And people say they are poor, they say they have no jobs. So we took that advantage that we know about leather. So we thought that, no, why don't we get these people? We train them how to make leather, how to collect these hides and skins, turn it into leather, and then make leather products like what we have in here. As a strategy for job creation, but at the same time, at least earning a living for us as well.
Now, where do you get your hide from?
Our hides and skins come from the villages in the rural communities of Ladysmith. We collect the skins and then we make them into leather. We process it into leather. And after making leather, we then make products like this. This is my wife's specialty. She likes particularly that one.
Oh, the president is coming through. Well, that was very interesting. As we're busy with the interview with Ndate Simon, the president of South Africa, President Ramaphosa, actually passed by Ndate Simon's stall and gave him a handshake. How did that feel, Bro Simon?
It was nice, but I was not surprised because really it has always been my passion that something should happen to the hides and skins from the rural communities. When we make products, right now the young people are enjoying these sort of bells, whereby you have a bell like that, right? You put this around your, and then you put your cell phone in there. You work with that, and when they see this, they feel happy. But now, when you tell them that, you know what you are happy with is that skin that was on the roof in the village. They say, you are not serious. But that's it. So I'm excited really to be in the leather industry.
Thank you so much, Papa Simon. Thank you so much. There you have it right here at the Sandton Convention Center. The president just walked by and just spoke to Ndate Simon about his leather as a black entrepreneur right here at the Sandton Convention Center for Precious Moments, which is exactly what was created. And there you have it. We come to the end, well, for us, right here at the BIE conference as Precious Moments. And I do believe that we did experience quite a lot of precious moments, especially for all the industrialists and all the entrepreneurs that were right here at the Sandton Convention Center. Busi will definitely be back on the next installment of Precious Moments with the iconic, amazing Sis Todd Twala right here on Precious Moments. And remember again, please do like, share, follow and subscribe to Precious Moments. From me, myself and I, Bonolo Beasting, right here at the Sandton Convention Center, let's continue enjoying Precious Moments.